Welcome to another episode of Mastermind Bites. Hi, my name is Fong. I'm an entrepreneur, business strategist, real estate investor, speaker, and also a best-selling author. And every single day, I help others unlock the potentials and guide them to succeed. Today on Mastermind Bites, we feature another great celebrity, great mind. And over the last few years, I've had the privilege and the honor to meet some amazing people, some masters in their skills, some very, very successful people, and got to hear their stories, learn from them, be in their presence, and just absorb their success. And the reason why we have these shows is so that I can share back some of those stories that I've heard, some of those lessons that I've learned, and give back to those who may or may not know these storylines that these people may or may not have. So today I'm very, very excited to feature Mr. Sylvester Stallone, Sly Stallone, who can forget his iconic roles in Rambo and Rocky and the Expendables. I mean, he's one of the most well-known, iconic Hollywood figures, and he's such a big celebrity. He's such a big name that everywhere in the world knows who he is. Now, for somebody who's achieved such great success and somebody who's overcome so many different obstacles, if you look at the odds, for somebody who was born the way he was, for somebody who had a childhood and a beginning of what he had, most likely than not, people will say that it was impossible for him to actually achieve what he's achieved. He had a really traumatic birth, and that's why he had that slur. He had paralyzed side parts of his face, and that's why he has that little smirk on his face, and also that slur, which basically he kind of made it into his own, and it's one of his brands. Like, once you hear that voice, it's Stallone. The thing is, at the age of 15, he was told that his brain was going to be dormant and that he would never amount to anything. But at that moment, he didn't say, no, I'm going to accept that. He's just going to go, you know what? I'm going to do something different. And he started to weight train. He started to build his body to become bigger, to become more healthy, to become stronger. So he didn't take that advice and just go, you know what? I'm going to accept it. He made a difference. He made a decision, and he kept on pushing and kept on working hard. He dropped out of school, but that's not because he was dumb, and it's not because he wasn't smart. It's just that school just didn't fit into the way he was learning things and the way he was living his life. So he actually quit school and went and sold pizzas and became an entrepreneur. He became a very good salesperson through that experiences, and then he was able to apply that into his future movie career as well. Now the thing is, he's always, and something that's kind of very consistent with all these successful people that I've learned from, such as Steve Wozniak and Schwarzenegger, and also Weird Al and like Stallone here. They always create things that they want to see themselves. They create something that they can think of that will relate to other people, some dilemma that people can relate to, and something that they themselves want to see, want to listen, want to experience. And when they actually like and love what they're creating themselves, then the people will come. And that's why all these things that he's created has been so successful, because he actually enjoys and loves what he's created. He has a passion of it. And that's why Rocky came out and Rambo came out. And these are all things that he actually enjoyed creating and writing and developing. And the thing is, when he was if you actually look at it, the story of Rocky is really a story of business. You need to be able to overcome obstacles. You have to find that team and surround people around you to be successful. So if you go through the whole story arc of Rambo, and also the whole story arc of Rocky, you can see a lot of similarities to what entrepreneurship is like, to what business is like. And there's been many interviews and many stories that he shared that he kind of related to his mindset of what Rocky was going through, to when he was doing a business deal, to when he was pitching a movie idea and all that kind of stuff. So I thought that was absolutely amazing when he shared that story, and when he shared those thoughts about creating something he absolutely liked, and being true to who he is, and never letting go of what he truly believed was good. And there was four main lessons that I actually caught from some of his talks and some of his stories. And the very first one that I thought was really, really relevant is, people in general have one big difficulty that they live through, and that is the unrealized dreams. And he really circled around the whole concept of life and having unrealized dreams. And he always promised himself that he will always work hard, he will always overcome, he will always push, he will always persevere to meet and achieve those dreams so that he won't have unrealized dreams. In fact, he was pretty much homeless and broke and had no money before doing Rocky. And it wasn't until after he watched Muhammad Ali win and beat the champ at the time that he thought, wait a minute, boxing is really a metaphor to life. And wouldn't it be amazing to write a story that showcases how a boxer goes through life and learns lessons and becomes better, becomes stronger? And he was so motivated, he went back and 3 days later, he came up with the script for Rocky. Now the thing is, he was so passionate about it, and he was so in love with that story that he did not want to let it go. He was already doing some acting parts here and there, but he was never making it big in those small parts. So for him to come up with a storyline that he absolutely loved, and it was his dream to become successful in acting, he held out and said, you know what? You guys can't have this script unless I was the lead and playing this part. Because he knew deep inside of him that if this movie made it big and he did not play the main lead, he would never get over himself. So the thing is, he was so true to his belief. He worked harder, and he actually at a point in time when he was homeless and he was just writing scripts and all that kind of stuff, pursuing his dream, pursuing so that he would not have that unrealized dream, he actually got to a point where he had to sell his dog. And the thing is, he sold his dog. He was putting it up for sale for about $100, and he could only find a seller a buyer who would actually buy it for $40. So he sold his dog for $40. And then luckily and fortunately, after he struck big with the script and also playing the part of Rocky, he got a whole bunch of money. He went back to that buyer and bought back his dog. But because he was in a state where he really, really wanted that dog, and the new owner knew that, he decided to negotiate and sold back the dog to Stallone for like $3,000, and also have a small part in the movie. So anyway, just as a little side story that he shared that I thought was pretty interesting. But he always wanted to pursue his dreams because he did not want to have any unrealized dreams. The second lesson that I thought was very important was that no one punches harder than life itself. Life is undefeated. And you just have to learn how to defend yourself. You just have to learn to maneuver and go around it. You have to be competitive. You have to be motivated. And that's how he is motivated every single day. That's how he is always pushing and pursuing. There was a question online to him saying, at his age right now, how come he is still so in shape? And he goes, you know what? He's competitive. His ego is strong, and he always wants to be the best he can be. He always looks at Schwarzenegger and go, you know what? I could still keep on pumping iron and still be competitive and still bulk up and still be healthy. And he has that competitive edge. And that's because he knows that life punches hardest. He knows that life will give you all these difficulties. You just have to overcome it. Now, speaking of punches, and he knows how people punch. He knows how hard people can actually punch. In fact, during the filming of Rocky, Dolph Lundgren actually punched him. And to give you a sense of how serious he takes acting, he wanted him to punch him for real. So he told Dolph, you know what? Go give it your all. I want to make this look real. I want this movie to look authentic. So just punch me. And sure enough, Dolph Lundgren just really punched him, and before you know it, he actually passed out. A couple hours later, he woke up at the hospital, and turns out that he had a bruised heart. So he knows how hard people punch, but he still claims that life punches harder than anything else because life is undefeated. Now, the third thing that I have learned from Sylvester Stallone is that dreams cost absolutely nothing. You just have to keep on going. You just have to look forward and visualize what you actually want to achieve and keep on moving forward every little step at a time, no matter how hard it is, no matter how long it takes. In fact, in one of the scripts that he was writing took him 140 rewrites. I mean, lots of people would actually give up after 3 or 4 rewrites, but he kept on going because he visualized that end goal. And he knows that his dreams are only a matter of a time, right? It's only a matter of him pushing forward because it doesn't cost anything. So he kept on rewriting. And after 140 rewrites, he finished his script. So the thing is, being persistent and knowing that you need to keep on pushing and visualizing that goal of yours is how you are able to become successful. And the fourth and final thing that I learned from Sly Stallone is one of my favorites, because it's one of my favorite stories that he shared as well. And that is his ability to be able to have conceptual implementation. And what is that? Well, looking at other things and applying it to his own work, applying it to his own business, and also applying it to his own creativity. The story of how Expendables came around was basically him thinking about, you know what, when actors of his age and Schwarzenegger's age and all those other guys' age, those past action heroes, they're hitting their 50s, their 40s and all that kind of stuff. And in Hollywood, the truth is you're looking at the prime ages of 15 to 35. 32. Once you're past those ages, then it's really tough to have those leading roles and hold up a whole movie. So what he was looking at was those tribute bands and those reunion shows and the bands of the 1990s or the bands of the 1980s. Now, if that band was to have a concert on their own, it may or may not sell tickets. But if you take that band and this band and put them all together and have a whole event, then they sell massive amount of tickets. So he took that and goes, wait a minute, why not I take all these old action heroes who are way past their primes and put them all together. So he called Schwarzenegger, he called Van Damme, and he got Chuck Norris, and he got all these great actors who were great action heroes back in the day, and he put them all together and he created Expendables. And again, he revitalized his career, he revitalized everybody else's career, and he came up with 3 more movies on just the brand of Expendables. So that is the power of conceptual implementation. So those are the 4 lessons that I found very, very fitting for business when it comes to Sly Stallone. Number 1 is always find a way to overcome and not have any unrealized dreams. Number 2, no one punches harder than life itself. Defend, maneuver, and work hard to overcome the punches that life throws at you. 3, dreams cost absolutely nothing. It's a matter of you keep on going, being persistent, pushing through, and just keep on going and going towards those dreams. And number 4 is conceptual implementation. Look at other things that are successful, see how you could take that and implement it into your own business and into your own life, into your own situation. So those are the lessons I thought that were absolutely amazing. Stallone is one of my favorite actors, one of my favorite celebrities, and it was a joy just to meet him. And it was just great hearing his stories and learning from him. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope you enjoyed the lessons from Sly Stallone. And if you like this, there are other episodes with Weird Al, with Schwarzenegger, and also Steve Wozniak and Michael Eisner. Or if you want to tune into other shows, I have the Peak Potential Success Show and also the Unlocking the Mind Behind Make More Work Less. So please like, subscribe, comment, give feedback. I love seeing those comments. And until next time, today is the day to unlock your potential. We'll see you later.